What if I told you that a 1-cent coin sitting in your pocket right now could be worth far more than 1 cent? And if you have a 2011 D Lincoln penny, there is one detail you absolutely need to check before spending it. But here's the shocking part. The ordinary 2011 D penny is not a $1 million coin. The real mystery is whether yours has an unusual error or variety hiding in plain sight. So before you toss that penny into a jar, a cash register, or the bottom of your car cup holder, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes a 2011 D Lincoln cent interesting, what mistakes can increase its value, and why some collectors are willing to pay hundreds of dollars for the right example. And there's a reason this particular penny gets people excited. The 2011 D Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint, and more than 2.5 billion were produced there. That sounds like the opposite of rare. In fact, if you find a normal circulated 2011 D penny, it will usually be worth around face value. But wait. That huge production number is exactly what makes the story interesting. When billions of coins are produced, even tiny mistakes, unusual die varieties, and exceptional high-grade examples can become collectible. Most coins are ordinary. A small number are different. And an even smaller number are different in ways collectors actually care about. So grab your penny jar. Find a 2011 penny. Now look directly under the date. Do you see the letter D? That tiny D tells you the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The 2011 D Lincoln cent uses the modern Union Shield reverse, and the coin is made from copper-plated zinc. It weighs about 2.5 grams and measures about 19 millimeters across. But the mint mark alone does not make it rare. This is where many people get confused. You may see videos online claiming that any 2011 D penny is worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even $1 million. That is simply not how coin values work. A normal 2011 D penny is common. A special 2011 D penny can be valuable. And that difference is everything. Now flip your coin over. You should see the Union Shield surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America and E pluribus unum, with 1 cent across the shield. This design first appeared on the Lincoln cent in 2010, replacing the 4 different reverse designs used during the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial program. And while the design may look simple, the manufacturing process behind every penny was anything but simple. A blank copper-plated zinc planchet was prepared, fed into a high-speed coin press, and struck with dies carrying the coin's design. When everything worked correctly, the result was an ordinary penny. But what happens when something goes wrong? That is where the potential treasure begins. Imagine thousands of coins being struck while a die develops a tiny defect. Imagine a die being made with an unusual doubling pattern. Imagine a planchet entering the press incorrectly. Most of these mistakes are caught. Some are not. And a few escape the mint and eventually enter circulation. That is why collectors inspect modern pennies so carefully. Now take another look at the obverse. Start with the date. Look closely at the numbers 2, 0, 1, and 1. Are the edges crisp and normal? Or do you notice unusual thickness, notching, separation, or a second image? Don't get too excited yet. There is an important trap here. Machine doubling can make a coin appear doubled even when it is not a true doubled die. A true double die is created during die production, meaning the doubling is part of the die itself and can appear consistently on coins struck by that die. Machine doubling is different. It can produce flat, shelf-like distortion and often looks much less dramatic under magnification. This distinction can mean the difference between an ordinary penny and a collectible variety. And here's another place where people make a costly mistake. They see a little extra metal around a letter and immediately assume they have discovered a rare double die. Don't. Take your time. Use good lighting. Use a magnifying glass or loupe. Compare the coin with a normal 2011 D cent. Look at Liberty. Look at I In God We Trust. Look carefully around the date. Then inspect Lincoln's portrait. Collectors have documented multiple 2011 double die varieties, including examples showing extra thickness or doubling in areas such as the date, Liberty, and I In God We Trust. Some known 2011 varieties are extremely limited in population. And that is where our story takes an unexpected turn. Because a 2011 D penny with a genuine double die obverse can be worth dramatically more than 1 cent. One documented 2011 D double die example graded MS64 reportedly sold for about $720 in a heritage auction sale. Think about that. A coin with a face value of 1 cent. A coin made in 2011. A coin that most people would never bother picking up. And one unusual example brought hundreds of dollars. But $720 is still a long way from $1 million. So where does the $1 million claim come from? This is the part every coin hunter needs to understand. There is no credible evidence that a normal 2011 D Lincoln penny with the standard design and ordinary condition is worth $1 million. If somebody tells you that every 2011 D penny is secretly worth $1 million, be extremely careful. The value comes from rarity, condition, verified varieties, and major mint errors, not simply from the year and the D mint mark. But that doesn't mean you should stop searching. Actually, the opposite is true. You should search more carefully, because the coin in your hand could have something unusual that isn't obvious at first glance. Let's say your 2011 D penny has strong, unmistakable doubling. That's interesting. Now imagine it is also bright red, nearly flawless, and preserved in exceptional mint state condition. Now you're talking about a completely different category of coin. Condition matters enormously. A scratched, heavily circulated penny with an interesting variety can be worth less than a spectacular uncirculated example of the same variety. This is why serious collectors don't simply ask, "What year is it?" They ask, "What exactly is it? What variety? What error? What condition? What certification? And how many comparable coins exist?" Those questions determine the real value. Now here's a quick test you can do at home. Place your 2011 D penny under a bright light. Do not clean it. That's important. Never polish or scrub a potentially valuable coin just because you want it to look shiny. Cleaning can leave scratches and permanently reduce collector appeal. Instead, hold the coin by its edges. Use a loupe. Check the date. Check Liberty. Check I in God We Trust. Then flip it over and inspect the shield. Look for major abnormalities such as missing design elements, unusual strikes, dramatic doubling, off-center striking, clipped planchets, or other obvious mint-made errors. And remember this rule. Damage is not the same thing as an error. A coin that gets hit in a vending machine may have a strange-looking edge. That does not automatically make it valuable. A coin dropped on concrete may have a dent. That's damage. A genuine mint error happened during manufacturing. That difference is critical. Now imagine you discover something that looks promising. What should you do? Don't rush to sell it to the first person who says, "I'll give you $10. Don't post a blurry photograph online and accept the first opinion you receive. And definitely don't clean it. Instead, compare it with reputable references and consider professional authentication and grading if the coin appears genuinely unusual. A certified coin from a respected grading service gives buyers more confidence because the variety, condition, and authenticity can be independently evaluated. And this brings us back to that $1 million question. Could a 2011 D penny make you a millionaire? For a normal coin, absolutely not. For a genuinely extraordinary error or an unprecedented discovery, the theoretical value could be much higher than ordinary pocket change, but claiming a specific $1 million value without a documented sale would be misleading. The truth is actually more exciting. You don't need a $1 million penny for the hunt to be worthwhile. Finding a coin worth $100, $300, or even several $100s in a handful of ordinary change can still be an incredible discovery. And remember, the documented 2011 D double die example that reached roughly $720 proves something important. Modern coins can matter. They can hide varieties. And they can surprise people who know what to look for. So tonight, before you empty that change jar, take a second look. Check the 2011 pennies. Separate the Denver coins. Look for the D. Study the date. Inspect Liberty. Examine I in God We Trust. And don't stop at the first thing that looks strange. Use magnification. Compare. Verify. Because the difference between a worthless damaged penny and a valuable mint error can be incredibly small. And here's the question I want you to answer. Do you have a 2011 D Lincoln penny sitting somewhere right now? Maybe it's in your wallet. Maybe it's in an old coffee can. Maybe your parents or grandparents saved it without ever knowing what they had. Go find it. Look at the date. Look at the D. Then inspect the coin under a bright light. You might discover nothing unusual, and that's perfectly normal. But if you find strong, genuine doubling or another major mint error, don't ignore it. That tiny penny suddenly becomes a much more interesting piece of American history. And that's the real secret behind coin collecting. The treasure isn't always obvious. Sometimes it looks exactly like 1 cent. Sometimes the difference is hidden in a tiny letter. Sometimes it's hiding inside the date. And sometimes, one small manufacturing mistake is all it takes to turn an ordinary coin into something collectors desperately want. So before you spend your next 2011 D penny, take a closer look. Because you never know what the mint accidentally released into circulation. And if you enjoy discovering hidden value in ordinary American coins, stick around and subscribe. There are plenty more pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters out there. And one of them could be hiding a story, a rare error, or a surprising value that most people would never notice. What if a penny sitting in your pocket right now looks completely ordinary, but a tiny detail could make it worth far more than 1 cent? The 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has a story that can fool even experienced collectors. And before you spend yours, there is one thing you absolutely need to check. Welcome back. Today, we're taking a close look at the 2013 Lincoln 1-cent coin with no mint mark, why people sometimes claim examples can be worth a fortune, what actually makes one valuable, and which unusual errors could turn an everyday penny into a serious collector's prize. So grab your change jar, because the most important detail may be hiding where you least expect it. At first glance, the 2013 Lincoln cent seems like the definition of ordinary. It carries Abraham Lincoln on the front, the familiar United States shield design on the reverse, and a face value of just 1 cent. Millions were made for everyday commerce. So why are people talking about a 2013 penny as if it could be worth thousands or even $1 million? Here's where the mystery begins. A missing mint mark does not automatically mean you found a rare coin. In fact, a 2013 penny without a mint mark is generally a Philadelphia minted coin. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint traditionally carry no mint letter, while pennies from Denver normally have a small d. That means the absence of a mint mark by itself is not an error. And this is exactly where many people get confused. They see a 2013 penny with no D, assume something went wrong at the mint, and immediately imagine a jackpot. But professional collectors do something very different. They ask a much more important question. Is the coin normal for its date and mint, or is there something genuinely unusual about it? That distinction can mean the difference between 1 cent and a valuable collectible. So what should you look for on a 2013 no mint mark Lincoln cent? Start with the date. Make sure it clearly says 2013. Then examine the area above the date, where a Denver penny would normally show a small d. On a Philadelphia penny, that space is supposed to be empty. Do not mistake an empty space for proof of a missing mint mark. Now flip the coin over. Look carefully at the shield, lettering, rim, and individual design elements. You are looking for something that does not belong there. Maybe a doubled design. Maybe an unusual strike. Maybe a dramatic off-center strike. Maybe an abnormal edge or planchet problem. And here comes the important part. Not every strange-looking coin is valuable. A coin can be scratched, dented, stained, discolored, or damaged after leaving the mint. Those problems may make it look unusual, but they usually do not create a major premium. Collectors care much more about genuine mint-made errors and varieties. Why? Because a true mint error is evidence of something unusual happening during production. The same principle applies to double details. If letters or numbers appear to have a second image next to them, do not immediately celebrate. Machine doubling and ordinary wear can create confusing effects. A genuine double die is a specific type of variety involving the die itself, and determining whether doubling is legitimate often requires close examination and comparison with known varieties. This is why the internet can be dangerous when you are researching coins. You may see a headline claiming, 2013 penny worth $1 million. Then you look at your own coin and notice it has no mint mark. Suddenly, that 1 cent piece feels like a hidden lottery ticket. But slow down. A headline is not a professional appraisal. There is no reason to assume that every 2013 no-mint mark penny is worth anywhere close to $1 million. In fact, a normal circulated 2013 Philadelphia cent is generally worth around its face value. Even uncirculated examples can be worth only modest amounts unless they have exceptional quality, certification, or a significant error or variety. So where does the $1 million idea come from? Often, it comes from confusion between ordinary coins and extraordinary specimens. The rare coin market has seen coins sell for enormous sums, but those record prices are usually connected to extreme rarity, historically important issues, famous errors, or exceptional condition. You cannot simply transfer a record price from one coin to another because they share the same denomination or because both have no mint mark. And yet, there is still a reason to inspect your 2013 penny. Because errors happen. A coin could potentially have a major minting problem that makes it more desirable than a normal example. The key is not the year alone. It is the combination of date, mint, condition, error type, rarity, and authentication. Here is another detail most casual treasure hunters overlook. Condition. Two coins can be the same date and mint, but one can look dramatically better than the other. A heavily circulated penny may have scratches, flattened details, and surface marks. A coin that was barely handled can preserve sharp lettering, strong design details, and a cleaner surface. Collectors often use grades to describe condition, and professionally graded coins can provide more confidence when serious money is involved. But never clean your coin before getting it evaluated. That shiny penny you create with a chemical or abrasive may actually become less desirable. Cleaning can leave scratches or unnatural surfaces that collectors can spot immediately. If you think you have something special, leave it alone. Now let's talk about the biggest question. Could a 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark actually be worth $1 million? For a normal 2013 Philadelphia cent? No. There is no reason to treat an ordinary example as a $1 million coin. But if someone finds a truly extraordinary, previously unknown mint error, the conversation changes. Extremely rare coins can attract serious attention, especially when their condition is exceptional and their authenticity is independently confirmed. That is the real lesson. The value is not hidden inside the words 2013 or no mint mark. The value would come from something exceptional about the individual coin. And that is why you should never throw away an unusual penny without taking a closer look. Let's say you discover a 2013 penny where the design is dramatically off-center. Do not sell it to the first person who offers you $5. Take clear photographs. Compare it with reputable references. Consider contacting a professional numismatist or a respected grading service. If the coin appears to have a serious error, authentication becomes extremely important. Why? Because valuable coins attract fakes, altered coins, exaggerated online listings, and sellers who may not understand what they have. A professional opinion can help separate a genuine mint error from damage that happened years later. Real market value is based on evidence, including credible auction results, certified examples, rarity, condition, and demand. So, if you have a 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, here is the smartest approach. First, confirm the date. Second, confirm that there really is no mint mark. Third, inspect both sides under good lighting. Fourth, examine the lettering, numbers, rim, and shield for genuine doubling or unusual striking characteristics. Fifth, check the edge for anything abnormal. And finally, if something truly unusual stands out, get a professional evaluation before making any decision. Now I want you to do something. Go find your change jar. Look through those pennies. You might discover dozens of ordinary coins. That is normal. But if you find a 2013 penny with a dramatic minting error, an unusual planchet, a major off-center strike, or another feature you cannot explain, set it aside. Take a close-up photo. Then ask yourself, is this damage, or did the mint create it this way? That single question can save you from both missing a valuable coin and believing a false $1 million claim. And remember, the most exciting part of coin collecting is not knowing that every penny is valuable. It is knowing that one unusual coin can hide among thousands of ordinary ones. A 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is normally just that, a Philadelphia penny made for circulation. But the right error, in the right condition, with the right authentication, can completely change the story. So before you toss that little copper-colored coin into a vending machine, take 1 second and look at it. Check the date. Check the design. Check the edge. Check for something that should not be there. Because the next unusual penny you find may not make you a millionaire. But it could teach you something even more valuable. How to recognize the difference between an ordinary coin, a real mint error, and an internet rumor. And that skill is where the real treasure hunt begins. If you have a 2013 penny with no mint mark, tell me what you see on it. Is it perfectly normal, or does it have a strange feature? Check your coins before you spend them, because hidden history can sometimes be hiding in plain sight. Subscribe for more rare coin mysteries and hidden treasures. What if that ordinary 2014 Lincoln penny sitting in your drawer is hiding a mistake worth far more than 1 cent? Before you spend another penny, look closely at the date, the mint mark, and especially the details around Lincoln's portrait. Because some 2014 cents can attract serious collector attention. And one tiny detail can completely change the story. Today, we're taking a close look at the 2014 Lincoln 1-cent coin with no mint mark. You'll learn what the missing mint mark really means, which mistakes can make a modern penny valuable, what collectors actually look for, and why the internet sometimes makes these coins sound like million-dollar treasures. And stay with me, because near the end I'll explain the biggest mistake people make when they find a 2014 penny that looks unusual. First, let's clear up something important. A 2014 Lincoln cent with no mint mark is not automatically rare. In fact, pennies made at the Philadelphia Mint normally carry no mint mark. That means a plain 2014 penny without a letter under the date is usually exactly what it is supposed to be. Wait though, that does not mean you should ignore it. The real mystery begins when a normal-looking coin has something that should not be there, or something that should be there but is missing because of a genuine minting error. The 2014 Lincoln cent continues the famous Lincoln portrait design that Americans have carried in their pockets for generations. On the front, you'll see Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty and the date 2014. The inscription "In God We Trust" appears above him. Flip the coin over and you'll find the Union Shield reverse, introduced in 2010. Above the shield are the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, while 1 cent appears below. Here's the interesting part: millions of 2014 cents were produced. So rarity does not come from the year alone. It comes from condition, unusual varieties, and especially authentic mint errors. And this is where many people get confused. They see a penny with no D or S under the date and immediately think, this must be a rare missing mint mark coin. Not necessarily. If a 2014 cent was struck at Philadelphia, having no mint mark is normal. You should never pay a premium simply because a 2014 penny lacks a letter. But what if your coin has a strange doubling? Now we're talking. One of the first things to examine is the lettering and date. Use a good light and, if possible, a magnifying glass. Look at the digits in 2014. Check the letters in Liberty. Then inspect the words "In God We Trust." Do you see a second outline? Does a letter appear wider than normal? Is there a clear separation between parts of the design? Be careful, because machine doubling and damage can fool even experienced beginners. A blurry edge, flattened letter, or strange-looking shape does not automatically mean valuable double die. A genuine double die is created during the die-making process, before the coin is struck. The doubling can appear as distinct, raised, secondary design elements. That is very different from a coin that simply received a hit after leaving the mint. And now we reach another important clue. Condition. Imagine 2 identical 2014 pennies. One has scratches, stains, fingerprints, and heavy wear. The other looks almost untouched, with sharp details and brilliant surfaces. Which one would collectors want? Usually the second coin. Modern cents are common, so exceptionally high-grade examples can become much more interesting to collectors. A coin that survived years in circulation without damage is already harder to find than a typical pocket change example. But there's an even bigger question. Could a 2014 no mint mark penny actually be worth $1 million? Here is the honest answer. A normal 2014 Philadelphia cent is not $1 million coin. There is no reason to believe that every 2014 no mint mark penny is secretly worth a fortune. That viral claim needs context. When you hear about a penny supposedly worth hundreds of thousands or even millions, the value generally comes from an extraordinary combination of rarity, authentication, condition, historical importance, or a major minting error. It is not simply because the coin has no mint mark. And that distinction could save you from making a costly mistake. Because the opposite mistake is just as common. Someone finds a strange-looking 2014 penny, assumes it is worthless, and spends it without ever checking the details. So let's slow down for a moment. Take your 2014 no mint mark penny and look directly beneath the date. If there is no D and no S, that can be perfectly normal for Philadelphia. Now inspect the edge. Is the edge normal and smooth? Does the coin look unusually thick? Is the copper-colored surface different from other pennies? Could the coin have been struck on the wrong planchet? Wrong planchet errors are among the kinds of mint mistakes that can make a modern coin dramatically more interesting. But these are not everyday discoveries. A genuine example must be examined carefully and usually authenticated before anyone should talk about serious money. Another clue is the weight. A standard modern Lincoln cent has a specific composition and weight. If your 2014 penny seems unusually light or heavy, that does not automatically make it valuable. It could have lost metal through damage, corrosion, or alteration. But a significant weight difference can be a reason to investigate further. And please remember this. Never clean the coin. This is one of the biggest mistakes beginners make. They find a dark penny and think, I'll polish this until it shines. Stop. Cleaning can leave scratches, remove original surfaces, and reduce collector appeal. Even if the coin turns out to be interesting, cleaning it can hurt its value. Instead, handle it by the edges and keep it in a safe holder. Now let's talk about the most exciting possibility, a genuine mint error. Imagine opening a jar of coins and discovering a 2014 penny with an obvious off-center strike. Lincoln is shifted dramatically toward one side, and part of the design is missing. That is different from simply having no mint mark. Or imagine finding a coin struck with an unusual planchet, where the size, weight, or metal does not match the normal specifications. Suddenly, that ordinary penny becomes a coin worth investigating. But here's the twist. Not every dramatic-looking error is valuable. Some unusual coins are damaged after leaving the mint. A coin can be squeezed, bent, scraped, plated, chemically altered, or exposed to heat. These changes may look fascinating, but they usually are not official mint errors. That is why authentication matters. If your 2014 penny has a feature that seems genuinely unusual, compare it with known examples, weigh it accurately, photograph both sides, and consider having a reputable numismatic expert examine it. And if someone tells you, your penny is definitely worth $1 million, ask a simple question. What evidence proves it? That question can protect you from unrealistic online claims. Now, here's something you can do tonight. Grab a handful of Lincoln cents from a jar, drawer, or old collection. Separate the 2014 pennies. Put the Philadelphia coins without mint marks in one group. Then inspect each one under strong light. Look for clear doubling. Look for major off-center strikes. Look for unusual planchets. Look for missing design elements that cannot be explained by damage. And compare the overall condition. You might not find $1 million coin. In fact, you probably won't. But you could discover a genuine error, a high-grade example, or another coin that deserves a closer look. And that is the real lesson behind the 2014 Lincoln cent. The treasure is not always in the date. Sometimes it is in the tiny detail nobody bothered to notice. A missing mint mark can be completely normal. A dramatic error can be extremely unusual. A high-grade coin can be surprisingly collectible. And a damaged coin can look rare when it is actually worth very little. So before you toss that 2014 penny into a vending machine, take 5 seconds and inspect it. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Check the lettering. Check the weight. Check the surfaces. And most importantly, check for something that could have happened at the mint rather than something that happened after the coin entered circulation. Never trust an online asking price as proof of value. Real prices depend on rarity, condition, authentication, and actual completed sales. That difference matters when evaluating your penny carefully correctly. If you have a 2014 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, tell me what you see on yours. Does it have doubling? An unusual edge? A strange weight? Or does it simply look like a normal Philadelphia cent? And if you enjoy uncovering the hidden stories behind ordinary American coins, stick around. Because the next penny you find could have a detail that changes everything. And sometimes the most valuable clue is the one hiding in plain sight. What if the ordinary 2015 Lincoln penny sitting in your change jar is hiding a detail that could make it worth far more than 1 cent? Before you spend another penny, stop and look closely. Because with 2015 cents, the date and missing mint mark alone do not make a coin worth $1 million. But certain errors, varieties, and exceptional conditions can completely change the story. And one tiny mistake on a coin can sometimes turn an everyday piece of change into a serious collector prize. Today, we are taking a close look at the 2015 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, what that missing letter actually means, which versions are common, which unusual errors deserve attention, and the biggest mistake people make when they hear claims about $1 million pennies. Stay until the end, because I will tell you exactly what to check before you decide your coin is only worth face value. First, let's talk about what you are holding. The 2015 Lincoln cent is a modern United States 1 cent coin featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. On the reverse is the Union Shield design, with the familiar words 1 cent and United States of America. The coin was produced in enormous quantities, so a normal 2015 penny without a mint mark is not rare simply because there is no letter underneath the date. A no mint mark penny from 2015 generally indicates production at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia traditionally used no mint letter on cents. So if you find 2015 followed by a blank area where you expected a D or another letter, that does not automatically mean the mint forgot to mark the coin. Many online videos and social media posts make it sound as if every penny with no mint mark is a hidden fortune. That is not how coin collecting works. A missing mint mark can be normal, depending on the year and denomination. The real mystery begins when the coin has something unusual beyond its normal characteristics. Start with the date. Make sure you actually have a 2015 cent. Then inspect the entire coin under bright light. Look at Lincoln's portrait. Check the lettering. Examine the date. Study the shield on the reverse. Then turn the coin sideways and inspect its edge. Because sometimes the most interesting clues are not obvious when you are looking straight at the coin. A normal 2015 cent is made primarily of copper-plated zinc. That means the coin should have a familiar appearance and weight consistent with modern cents. If your coin looks dramatically different, weighs unexpectedly differently, or appears to have an unusual metal composition, that is a reason to investigate further. A strange-looking penny is not automatically a mint error. Damage can happen after a coin leaves the mint. Heat, chemicals, polishing, grinding, squeezing, bending, or exposure to harsh environments can create appearances that look dramatic but have little collector value. Collectors care about mint-made errors because those mistakes happen during production. A coin damaged in somebody's garage is a different story. Now imagine finding a 2015 penny with a major doubled design. You look at the date and notice unusual separation. You move to the lettering and see shapes that appear to overlap. Suddenly, that ordinary penny becomes much more interesting. Not every apparent doubling is a valuable double die. Modern coins can show machine doubling, strike-related distortions, die deterioration, or other effects that may look impressive to an untrained eye. A genuine collectible variety needs to be identified correctly. That is why serious collectors do not stop at, "It looks doubled." They ask, exactly what is doubled? How is it doubled? And is the feature consistent with a known mint variety? Now let's talk about condition. Suppose you find a 2015 no mint mark cent that looks almost untouched. The surfaces are bright. Lincoln's details are sharp. The shield is clean. There are very few marks. That coin could be more desirable than a heavily circulated example. But condition alone does not turn a normal 2015 penny into $1 million coin. A $1 million valuation requires extraordinary evidence. It would typically involve extreme rarity, historical importance, exceptional preservation, a major recognized error or variety, and strong market demand. Claims that an ordinary 2015 no mint mark cent is automatically worth $1 million should be treated with skepticism. And that is actually good news for you. because you do not need to believe every unbelievable price claim to find valuable coins. The real opportunity is learning how to separate normal coins from genuinely unusual ones. Think about the number of pennies that pass through American hands every day. Most are spent without a second thought. A few get placed in jars. Some sit in drawers for years. And an even smaller number have unusual characteristics that collectors may want to examine. Take your 2015 penny and compare it with another 2015 cent, put them side by side. Do the letters look the same? Does Lincoln's portrait look normal? Is the date shaped correctly? Does the reverse design show any unusual doubling, missing detail, cracks, or strange marks? If your 2015 penny has no mint mark, remember that Philadelphia cents normally have no mint letter. If you see a D, that indicates Denver. The absence of a letter by itself is not the jackpot. Errors can include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, wrong planchets, major die breaks, and other production mistakes. The value depends heavily on the exact error, how dramatic it is, the condition of the coin, and how collectors respond to it. For example, an off-center strike that clearly leaves part of the design missing can be much more interesting than a tiny shift that is difficult to notice. A dramatic mint error can attract attention because collectors know that the mistake occurred during the manufacturing process. If you think you have something unusual, resist the temptation to make it shine. Cleaning can scratch the surface and reduce collector appeal. A professional wants to see the coin in its original condition, not after someone has attacked it with a cloth, polish, or household cleaner. Could a 2015 penny ever be associated with an extremely high valuation? In theory, an extraordinarily rare and historically significant error could command a remarkable price under the right circumstances. But that is very different from saying a normal 2015 Philadelphia cent is worth $1 million. There is no magic combination of 2015, no mint mark, and Lincoln that automatically creates $1 million coin. That is the reveal many viral videos leave out. The missing mint mark is not the secret. The secret, if there is one, would be an additional characteristic that makes your individual coin different from the millions of ordinary cents produced that year. Go find your 2015 pennies. Do not just look at one. Check several. Look at the date. Look at the reverse. Inspect the edge. Compare the weight if you have an accurate digital scale. Use magnification if possible. And most importantly, document anything unusual before you assume it has a fortune attached to it. If you discover something that looks like a major mint error, have it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service. Good documentation can help determine whether you have a genuine mint-made variety or simply post-mint damage. A coin that has been in circulation for years may have scratches, stains, dents, and wear. Another coin from the same year may have been protected almost immediately after production. Those two coins can have very different collector appeal. When someone says, "This penny is worth $1 million," your brain naturally wants to believe it. Suddenly, every scratch looks like a rare error. Every missing letter looks intentional. Every shiny surface feels valuable. The smartest collectors are not the people who believe every treasure story. They are the people who know how to verify one. So, is your 2015 Lincoln penny with no mint mark worth $1 million? If it is a normal Philadelphia minted 2015 cent, the answer is no. Its lack of a mint mark is normal, not proof of rarity. But if your coin has a genuine, significant mint error or another recognized collectible variety, then it deserves a closer look. The value of a coin is not created by a dramatic headline. It is created by rarity, authenticity, condition, demand, and evidence. Before you throw that penny into a vending machine, a cash register, or the bottom of a drawer, give it 10 seconds of attention. Look closely. Compare it. If something seems truly unusual, set it aside. You might not have $1 million coin, but you could have something interesting. And once you learn what to look for, every handful of change becomes a little more exciting. So, check your 2015 pennies tonight. Do you have a no mint mark example? Does it show unusual doubling, an off-center strike, a strange edge, or another feature that looks different from a normal cent? Let me know what you find. And if you enjoy uncovering the real stories behind America's most interesting coins, subscribe for more hidden money discoveries. Because the next coin you check could be the one that makes you stop, look twice, and wonder how it ended up in your pocket in the first place. What if the ordinary 2016 penny sitting in your drawer right now could be hiding a mistake worth a fortune? Before you spend that little 1-cent coin, look at the date, look at the surface, and most importantly, look for the tiny details most people never notice. Because the truth about the 2016 Lincoln penny is stranger than the million-dollar rumors suggest. Today, we are going inside the mystery of the 2016 Lincoln 1-cent coin with no mint mark, and by the end, you will know exactly what that missing letter means, which unusual errors can matter, and why you should never assume every 2016 penny is just worth 1 cent. And there is one important twist. The biggest value is not hiding in the date alone. That moment of excitement is understandable. But this is where many collectors make their first mistake. A missing mint mark on a 2016 Lincoln cent does not automatically make the coin rare. In fact, millions of 2016 cents were intentionally produced without a mint mark at the Philadelphia Mint. That means the absence of a letter is normal for many examples. Wait, though, that does not mean you should stop looking. The real mystery begins when you understand what collectors actually pay for. They are not simply buying a date. They are looking for condition, unusual varieties, mint errors, striking problems, and examples that are exceptionally preserved. And sometimes, one tiny manufacturing mistake can transform an ordinary-looking coin into something collectors desperately want. The 2016 Lincoln cent continues the famous Lincoln portrait design on the obverse, with Abraham Lincoln facing right. The reverse features the Union Shield design introduced in 2010. It is a modern coin, made primarily from copper-plated zinc, and it normally has very little spending value beyond its 1-cent face value. So why does this coin attract so much attention online? Because modern coins can still contain mistakes. A die can become damaged. A coin can be struck improperly. A planchet can have an abnormal appearance. A die alignment can be wrong. And when an unusual piece escapes quality control, collectors may notice. Here is the first detail you should check: the mint mark area. On a 2016 Philadelphia cent, you normally will not see a mint letter beneath the date. A 2016 D cent carries a D for Denver. A 2016 South Proof Center carries an S and was made for collectors at San Francisco. So if your 2016 penny has no mint mark, that alone is not evidence of an error. And that distinction could save you from two opposite mistakes: throwing away a normal coin because you think it is worthless, or believing you have a fortune simply because there is no letter. Now look closer. Do you see unusual doubling around the date, lettering, or other design elements? Does the coin have a strange shape? Is part of the design missing? Does the edge look abnormal? Is there a broad area where the strike appears weak or distorted? These are the kinds of clues that deserve attention. But be careful, because damage can imitate an error. A coin scraped against another coin, crushed by machinery after leaving the mint, exposed to chemicals, or altered by a person can look dramatic without having meaningful collector value. A genuine mint error is different because the unusual feature was created during the manufacturing process. That is why serious collectors compare coins carefully rather than trusting a viral photograph or an unbelievable online listing. Now comes the question everyone wants answered. Could a 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny really be worth $1 million? Here is the surprising truth. There is no established reason to believe that an ordinary 2016 Philadelphia Lincoln cent with no mint mark is worth $1 million. A normal circulated example is generally worth about face value. Even an attractive uncirculated coin is not automatically a millionaire maker. So where did the $1 million idea come from? Rare coin stories often mix genuine record prices, extraordinary errors, sensational headlines, and speculative asking prices. Someone can list a coin online for an enormous amount, but a listing price is not the same thing as a confirmed sale. This is one of the most important lessons in coin collecting. A seller can type $1 million into a marketplace. That does not mean a collector paid $1 million. Real value is established through evidence: documented sales, recognized varieties, grading, authentication, rarity, demand, and condition. And that brings us to the part that could actually make your 2016 penny interesting: condition. If you have a 2016 no-mint mark cent that has never circulated, with bright original surfaces, sharp details, and minimal marks, it can be more desirable than a worn pocket change example. Professional grading can sometimes help establish how well preserved a coin is, especially for coins with exceptional quality. But don't polish it. This is a huge mistake beginners make. They see a shiny penny and think cleaning will increase its value. In reality, cleaning can permanently damage the surfaces and reduce collector appeal. If you think you have something unusual, leave it exactly as you found it. And now let's raise the stakes. Suppose your penny has no mint mark, but also appears to have a genuine striking error. Suddenly, the conversation changes. The value could move from ordinary pocket change into collectible territory, depending on the exact error, severity, rarity, condition, and demand. Not every error is worth hundreds or thousands. Some are minor, some are common, some are simply damage. But major, authenticated mint errors can attract serious attention. So what should you do if you think you've found one? First, do not clean it. Second, take clear photographs of both sides and the edge. Third, compare the coin with reliable references. Fourth, consider having a significant suspected error authenticated by a reputable professional grading or authentication service. Now check the date under good lighting. Look at the 2. Look at the 0. Look at the 1. Look at the 6. Then inspect Liberty and I in God we trust. You are looking for consistent shapes and possible doubling, but remember that machine doubling and ordinary wear can create misleading appearances. The most valuable coin in your collection may not be the one with the oldest date. It may be the coin with the unusual mistake nobody noticed at first. And that is why the 2016 penny is worth checking. It is modern enough that many people ignore it. Modern enough that countless examples are still sitting in jars, drawers, cash registers, old purses, and inherited collections. And modern coins are not immune to minting errors. But don't let the $1 million headline fool you. If you find a normal 2016 Philadelphia cent without a mint mark, you probably have a common coin, not a secret fortune. The exciting possibility comes from finding something genuinely unusual beyond the missing mint mark. Think about that for a second. A tiny detail can start the investigation, but it cannot finish it. Now imagine you are sorting through a jar of pennies tonight. You find one dated 2016. No mint mark. At first, you almost put it back. Then you notice the lettering looks strange. The edge seems different. The surface has an unusual feature. That is the moment you stop and investigate. Maybe it turns out to be damage. Maybe it is a normal coin. Or maybe you have discovered a legitimate mint error that deserves professional attention. That uncertainty is what makes coin hunting so addictive. One final thought. Never let excitement replace verification. Rare coins reward careful eyes, not guesses. If something looks different, slow down, protect the coin, and investigate before selling, trading, or spending it. That simple habit can help you avoid losing money and recognize a genuine discovery completely. A coin's story matters. 2 pennies from the same year can look nearly identical to a beginner and have dramatically different values because one has an authenticated error and the other does not. So, what is your 2016 penny worth? If it is a normal circulated Philadelphia cent with no mint mark, usually just 1 cent. If it is an exceptional uncirculated example, it may have additional collector interest. If it has a genuine, significant mint error or rare variety, the value can potentially rise much higher, but it must be evaluated on its own evidence. And no, the missing mint mark by itself does not turn a 2016 penny into $1 million coin. That may sound disappointing, but honestly, it is better news. Why? Because now you know what to look for. You are no longer chasing a rumor. You are checking the coin intelligently. So take a few minutes today and search your old pennies. Check the 2016 coins. Check the dates. Check the lettering. Check the edges. Look for real mint-made abnormalities, not scratches and damage. And if you find a 2016 penny that looks genuinely strange, don't spend it until you know what you have. Have you ever found a penny that looked too unusual to be ordinary? Tell me about it in the comments, especially if you found it in pocket change, an old jar, or a family collection. And remember, the next coin you almost ignore could be the one that deserves a second look. Subscribe for more rare coin mysteries, hidden errors, and the valuable details hiding in ordinary American change. Your next discovery could be sitting right in your hand.